Hi guys, so today I'm doing just a little bit of some straight line ruler work, and I've got a panel that I had printed, and basically it's half rectangle triangles, I guess you would call it. And so some of the lines that I'm quilting, I'm following this angle on the yellow pieces, and then I'm making 90-degree angles in the opposite direction on the blue triangles. So I'll just show you, excuse me, real quick how I'm doing that. And so I have my little ruler that I'm using, and I'm making the lines in 1/4 inch increments. And so I'm not really putting a whole lot of pressure on the ruler. I'm just kind of using it as a guide. And it's a little bit slow going because I'm traveling up diagonals, and so I like to go extra slow when I'm traveling along a diagonal because it's more difficult than if you're just going straight up and down like a Y or an X axis. So this part does take a little bit more time, but I feel like it's really worth the extra little bit of effort that you put in because the end product is going to look really cool. Okay, and now I'm going to go in the opposite direction on the yellow fabric, and I'm using a little bit longer ruler for this one just because my short ruler is long enough to do these lines, but I like to have a little bit more control over my ruler, and so a longer ruler lets me keep my hands kind of, I don't know, positioned along more of the length instead of hanging off the very edge, so it's easier to hang on to it. And so I don't know if you can see this in the video, but a little trick that I do so that I'm not constantly moving my ruler and measuring the distance between lines is the distance from my needle to the edge of my hopping foot. You should use a ruler foot, but I cheat and I just use my regular quilting foot that came with my long arm because I can't see very well what I'm doing whenever I have the ruler foot on. The visibility isn't good. And so I've done it enough that I can do this without hitting my ruler, but accidents still happen. And so you should just be really careful if you're not using a ruler foot. I highly recommend that you do though. But so I position the edge of my ruler foot against the last line that I did. And so that's how I know that I'm a 1/4 inch from this line, and I don't have to be constantly gauging the distance between those two things. Okay, so you can see here I've done one little half rectangle triangle, and I'm just going to continue to fill up this panel with this quilting. And so it's just repetitive over and over again. I'll show you one more. And I'm going to swap out for my small ruler again. And you may not be able to tell, but this ruler has lines going across it, and what I'm doing is I'm lining these up with the diagonal of the triangle so that I know I'm 90 degrees, my lines are 90 degrees from that line. And you also want to make sure that you keep your finger, you know, a pretty good distance away from the needle. I keep my pinky finger really close to the edge of this ruler, and I should really be keeping it back about this distance. So just be really careful when you're quilting. You don't ever want to put your finger in the path that the needle is going to be traveling. Okay, and then I'm just going to follow this angle and quilt 1/4 inch straight lines on the yellow pieces. Okay, and so now I'm just going to continue doing this until I fill the whole panel up with the quilting.